tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Just doing some quick sharing and we will get started. Heck, I haven't even started. Ingrid's already liked the video, so she must be here. All right. Hey, Chris. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Man, I'm not used to working. Jobs are going good, though. Today was pretty cool, man. It's funny because the clients were they were so excited for recovery that they were asking how they could become recovery coaches and a peer support specialist. Because they're like, that's what I want to do. And then because I'm gonna tell you what, most people that go really far down, we want to give back, right? And we want to give back right away, but we can't. And that can be kind of tough. We have to take a look at ourselves first, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. So I usually recommend that somebody have 1 to 2 years of sobriety first. Usually, sometimes people get through the 12 steps a little bit quicker, but on average, it's going to be about a year. I wasn't ready to really coach or do much of anything till I was about 3.5 years sober, 3 years ago. Yeah, I knew that. You had told me before, Chris. And that's awesome. We're getting ready to do some pretty cool things. So, sorry, I got some bad news before I came on. So, and so we lost another one. We lost another one of us, but this one really hurts. And I doubt you probably don't know who she is. Her name's Carol Twillinger. She right. And what she does, she protects us from all those assholes out there. She was the one that was, you were seeing things being shut down and people going to court, people being sent to jail for long periods of time. That was Carol doing her work. And I didn't know her very well. I had spoken to her a couple times because she was a great resource. She was a fantastic resource, but this one hurts. This one hurts. We lost a very productive member that we need really bad. Aside from the fact that she spent 40 years helping people, she paid her dues. She paid her dues. She died sober. I could tell you that. That I know. That I know. So, congratulations and love you, Carol. I might cry. I didn't think I would. I didn't know Carol very much, but anytime we lose somebody, it hurts. Whether I knew them very well or not. Of course, my level of hurting depends on that. But whenever I hear that we lost another person, that does what we do, you know what I mean? So, oh, cool. Thank you, Jamie. So let's talk about faith without works is dead. It's a pretty straightforward line. And by line, I mean sentence. Right? So where does it come from? Well, it comes when we're hitting around step 6, 7, and going into 8, right? And what they're saying is um, that you got to move forward. It is no mistake that faith without works is dead is in the chapter into action. Okay. Because really, we're not talking about faith, we're talking about action. We're talking about action here. Okay. So we don't read this part very often because, you know, because we always have newcomers, right? So, but I mean, it starts out having made our personal inventory. What shall we do about it? We've been trying to get a new attitude, a new relationship with our Creator, and to discover the obstacles in our paths. We have admitted our defects. We have ascertained in a rough way what the trouble is. Okay. But that's not what I'm getting to. I'm talking about the action of the program. Okay. Whenever you do something, whenever you pray, action, gratitude list, action, self pity, action, great day, action, action, right? It's hard for me when I see people that have been in the program for a little while that says, "What am I supposed to do?" You go help another alcoholic. What That's your main task. It is your number one main task to do. And the only way you're going to be able to do it is if you put action into your life. That's right, Chris. Action, action, action. And no change, no change. Period. Okay. The other thing, okay, this does not mean half measures avail us nothing. That is not what this means. That is a little bit different. We're talking about God and the world around us. Okay. So, where is it in here? Do, 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 do. Now we need action. Now we need more action without which we find that faith without works is dead. If you don't work your faith, it won't grow. Any relationship, any relationship grows at all times, right? Like I can say something to my wife and she'll get it, right? Because we have our inside jokes. There's only jokes that I would crack that only my wife and I would understand. That is because we have a certain type of relationship, right? Sit down with your friends, cover old times, things like that. These are things in our life that create purpose, okay? So action. What else could be an action? Read your book. That's an action. But doing nothing, okay? You get to sit on your laurels for steps 1, 2, and 3. After that, it's time to get to work. And when you're done with the 12 steps, we call that a good start. That's what we call it. We call it a great start, right? We say this in the meetings. We used to say this in meetings all the time. I don't hear it very much anymore. First year is yours. After that, your ass is ours. Period. We're very clear, and I kind of feel like we beat around a topic anymore. Oh no, crosstalk. No, crosstalk's going to happen. I'm going to tell you why. Because a newcomer is going to come in and ask for help. Okay. So there is a limit to that crosstalk, though. And that's when you get into advice giving, right? And that's what's dangerous about Zoom meetings. People feel the need that they have to talk after somebody has spoken because they feel like it's a meeting. It's a it's a different feeling. Am I right on that? Yes, I am. Whereas when we're in a regular meeting, that stuff doesn't happen as often, right? Where people crosstalk because it's easier to do things when you're hiding behind a screen. I'm just saying, okay? You got, if you're able to, you got to get to some in-person meetings too. There's a limit to that. Okay. All good things in, what do they call it? Because I'm not very good at it. In, little bits, right? All good things in little bits. What do they call it? I forget. Let's move on. All right. I'm just gonna kind of skim through this and pick out some things. Um, there's a long trip. Um, yes, there is a long period of reconstruction ahead. Ooh, there's something at the very top of my book, and it says, "I don't say sorry if I was wrong. I wasn't. My sponsor would not allow me to say sorry." And Chris, you know Paul. Oh, Paul, short guy with glasses. Yeah, he was my sponsor, man, and he was fantastic. I haven't talked to him in a little bit. I gotta reach out to him. So, yes, there's a long period of construction ahead. We must take the lead. This is your recovery. We must take the lead. Is that there's a must. See, by this time, the book has changed. We're no longer suggesting things to you, are we? A remorseful mumbling that we are sorry won't fill the bill at all. That's what my sponsor was trying to tell me. He said, if you say sorry, you think it's over. That is not an apology. An apology is, honey, I noticed that I interrupted you again when you asked me not to do that. I recognize it, I saw it, and I'm going to change. That's an apology. That's an apology. And we know that. Okay. So quit saying you're sorry, even when you are sorry. All right. Yeah, it is. And I think it's a good, yeah, absolutely, Chris. I'm, I love this thing. I tear up so many big books. Okay. I've got them at work. I got two here. I always have a big book on me. I don't have one in the car. I need to put one in the car. All right. That reminds me, I have to order AA books for the detox. That's cool, man. That's so cool. I get to order shit. I get to go spend city money. That'll be fun. All right, all right. So a remorseful mumbling that we are sorry won't fill the bill at all. We ought to sit down with the family and frankly analyze the past as we now see it. Be very careful not to criticize them. I did this with each of my kids because they were at different levels. Some wanted to talk, some of them didn't want to talk. Um, Good example of this was my older brother Scott. Um, he didn't want a ninth step. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want to discuss it. He doesn't want to talk about it. He just wants to move on with our relationship. He's a normie. He can do that. Okay? Because it says if we can't do it if it injures others. He is an other. And if it's going to affect him emotionally, then the answer is no. Okay. Took a little bit for me to figure that out, but now we have a much better relationship because I told him, oh, because you guys can tell I'm a talker. I talk about my feelings. I talk about what's going on. Right? So his fear was that we were going to sit down. He would have to rehash that. And he wasn't willing to do that. Okay. And guess what? Our relationship is doing better than it has in 15 years. Okay. Because I came to that realization. I was like, why does my brother not want to talk to me? This. He was afraid that I was going to sit down. We were going to criticize. He didn't want that. All right. So we clean house with the family, asking each morning in meditation that our Creator show us the way of patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love. It's not all the way, always the way it happens. My kids did not want to sit down in the morning and pray and meditate with me. They didn't. right? What they were willing to do was go to some Alateen meetings, and did that for quite some time, 9 months or a year. Okay, so they could find out why Dad acts like such a dickhead. Okay, or how to deal with me when I am acting that way. They needed those skills too, right? They had to learn boundaries with Dad. So the spiritual life is not a theory. It's not just something written down on paper. Okay, we have to live it. We have to live it to the fullest of the best of our ability. Right? Unless one's family expresses a desire to live along upon spiritual principles, we think we ought not urge them. Nope. I don't even bring that stuff up with them. Nope. Mm-mm. I don't even I talk to my wife all the time on spiritual matters, but she has not once told me what her God is like. She doesn't need to. She's a normie. We have to remember that stuff, right? And sometimes I'm like, man, and then I'm like, no, Dion, she works things differently than you. She's been able to do it for 50 years without you, and she doesn't need you on it. Period. All right. I'm gonna read the last of it. Yeah, Ingrid is here. So Ingrid, I'm going to read on page 87 at the very bottom, and I'm going to finish the chapter if you are still here and want to follow along. As we go through the day, we pause. When agitated or doubtful, we ask for the right thought or action. Who are we asking? We're asking God. I know sometimes I bring up elementary stuff, but we must be reminded of this stuff. If it hasn't been driven into your head that the solution to 99 of your problems is helping another alcoholic, then yeah, I'm going to continue doing that. It must be driven into our heads daily because my forgetter works fantastic. All right. We remind ourselves we are no longer running the show, humbly saying to ourselves many times each day, thy will be done. Many times. It didn't say, yeah, every now and again, you have to do this. I've had to do it several times today. Right. I've worked with a lot of different people. Some trying my patience. Some there was a client at work today. He just wouldn't shut up. It was all good stuff, but he wouldn't shut up. And I love our staff. Our staff will sit with you for an hour while you gab, and we will interact with you, and we will be on your side. I'm really proud of the staff at the detox I'm working at because wow. And I'm glad that they were there before me to put a lot of stuff together because there's no way I could have done that. So they've set something up for me to come and appreciate. Right? Yeah. We are in much less lane. We are then in much less danger of excitement, fear, anger, worry, self pity, or foolish decisions. We become much more efficient. That's the thing. And then we don't tire so easily because we're not burning up energy foolishly as we did when we were trying to arrange life to suit ourselves. So instead of trying to make life suit ourselves, what we're going to do is suit ourselves to be a part of life. Trust me, there's freedom there. The other way, there's not going to be much freedom. It works. It really does. We alcoholics are undisciplined. This is one of the only times I think disciplined. I'm gonna have to go back. We're not big on that word, okay? Because to us it brings up other things. So we tend to stay away from discipline. When I talk to somebody, unless they are, unless they, have been through, one of the unless they've served, and I then I need to be disciplined so that I can help them, right? Because we know just think on this. This person came from, how would I act if I was a person coming from? You can do that. So we let God discipline us in the simple way that we have just outlined. I would tell you now, God has never come down on me. No. Mm-mm. Every time, every time he lets me know I'm going the wrong way, he does it so beautifully, it's hard for me to not want to do it. Does that make sense? It's like, oh, and the way I see it is that's another thing that I just discovered about Dion that I get to work on. That makes me a better person, and therefore I can help you more. Everything I do is based and geared towards helping other people. Almost everything I do, except for after this, I'm done for the day. So, but this is not all. There is action and more action. Faith without works is dead. The next chapter is entirely devoted to step 12. There is a reason. Yeah, drill instructors, right? You guys, you ever see the Monty Python where they're out there, they're marching? I think it was in, which one was it? I don't remember. But, he's all out there. I am the sergeant major. Is there anybody here who would not like to go stopping or marching up and down the square? And they're all, well, yes, sir. I have a, I have a date with my wife. You have a date with your wife, do you? Well, off you go. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. Um, Thanks, Ingrid, Chris. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I love you guys. Peace out and have a day. Bye bye.